Hey guys, what's up? This is Dr. Rin. Welcome to the Legion Beta. Welcome to the Blood Death Knight preview. The Blood Death Knight has turned into quite a fun class in my opinion. I'm really happy with the changes they made. One thing to mention is that I'm very sad to see Army of the Dead gone. Yeah, Army of the Dead was really cool. It was something that really fitted the class in general. Whenever you were Frost and Holy or Blood, didn't matter. Very cool spell. I'm sad to see it go. Anti-magic zone is gone as well. The anti-magic shell is still there. The anti-magic zone, which you could use as a raid cooldown, that has been removed as well. Frost Fever is gone, and we still have 6 runes, but Blood, Unholy, and Frost runes, the differences are gone. There are no death runes as well. It's just 6 runes. Yeah, that's it. Those are the major changes. Of course, there are some other changes. We'll talk about that. So, in general, what do we have? We still have our Taunt and our Death Grip, of course. We still have Blood Boil. Hard Strike is back. I know a lot of people are gonna like it. I do like it. Let me guys show you how it looks. Let's go over here. It quite looks okay. That's the animation. And listen to the sound. It sounds so meaty, like you're really cutting your target open. Like you're striking him and blood and gore comes out of him. You don't see it, but hear the sound, blood splashing everywhere, ripping open your targets. It sounds very cool. So Hard Strike is back, so rejoice, no more Death Coil. Personally, I like Hard Strike back, especially with the sound effect. I love the sound effect, it's so good. The Death Coil was a little bit lackluster, even though it was handy to use sometimes when you needed to run. You had a target out of range, you could spam some Death Coils that way, no tears are shed by losing Death Coil in my opinion. Death Strike is still here. Moss Grip, aka Gorfian's Grasp, is still here of course. Rune Tap, still a thing. Anti-Magic Shell, yeah. Vampiric Blood, you guys know what this is. Dancing Rune Weapon, it's still there. Blood Tap is still here. Death and Decay is still here. We have our Interrupts, Asphyxiate, and Mind Freeze are still here. A new... this is a talent, we'll talk about it a little bit. Blood Mirror is a new cooldown. That is new. And our artifact ability is new, called Consumption. Strikes all enemies in front of you with a hungering attack that deals 69k physical damage and heals you for 100% of that damage. Looks okay. Let me show you. Very brutal, yeah? And big two-handed slam, which does a lot of damage and heals you as well. Two other new things are Merriment. Now, this is our active mitigation, yeah? Merriment is going to be very important. And this is where a lot of the fun comes, in my opinion. We'll talk about it a little bit. And we have Death Cares. Basically, what you do, you put Blood Plague with Death Cares on your target. And it costs 1 rune. Which we won't be using that much, because also Blood Boil gives us Blood Plague on our target. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. So, how does the Blood Death Knight play? I think it's very fun. I think they made it a lot better, less lackluster like it was. You can't Death Strike. You can't stack up Death Strikes anymore. You can't have like 3 or 5 stacks of Death Strike. That's out of the window. And Bone Shield is something, and that's Merriment comes in. This is the new ability. Bone Shield is no longer a button press on a 1 minute cooldown. No, it's not. Bone Shield is something now that is your active mitigation. It's something you generate, yeah? It costs 2 runes. The ability is called Merriment, and I think this is pretty fun in my opinion. It gives me choices to make, and choices is always good. Merriment, 2 runes. Smash the target dealing 42k physical damage, yeah? And generating 3 charges of Bone Shield. Bone Shield surrounds you with a barrier of whirling bones, reducing all damage you take by 20% and increasing your haste by 10%. Each damaging attack consumes a charge, lasts 30 seconds or until all the charges are consumed. Let me demonstrate this in a proper way. Let's just hop over to the to our class order hall so I can demonstrate this proper. And we're back. Welcome back, guys. So, Merriment. It gives me a stack of 3 Bone Shields. Here we go. And as you can see, every time I'm taking damage, yeah, I'm losing a Bone Shield charge. This is what it comes down to. You have Hard Strike, which Hard Strike generates 15 runic power, yeah? So we have to look at our runes and we have to look at our runic power. Death Strike, yeah, still heals us. Focuses dark power into a strike that deals 66k physical damage and heals you for 20% of all damage taken in the last 5 seconds, yeah? Minimum 10% of maximum health, yeah? So it's always a 10% HP health at least, or more. But it costs 45 runic power. So I need to have 3 hard strikes, that's 3 runes, yeah, for 1 death strike. But we also need to have 2 runes for Marrowrant. Do you see where I'm going? So we need to use Hard Strike 3 times. We need to spend 3 runes on Hard Strike for 1 Death Strike. So basically, 1 Death Strike equals 3 runes, and your Bone Shield is at least 2 runes. And then we have Death and Decay. Yeah, corrupts the targeted ground. Corrupts the targeted ground, causing 30k shadow damage over 10 seconds to targets within the area. While you remain within the area, your Hard Strike will hit up to 3 additional targets. So that's very important if you're cleave or AoE. If you're AoE tanking, you need to be in your Death and Decay. And Death and Decay also costs a rune. So you need to balance your runes. You need to balance what you're going to spend your runic power on. So basically when I'm going in, the first thing I'm going to do is use Merriment to get Bone Shield up. You never ever want to drop your Bone Shield, yeah? So I'm going in, using my Bone Shield, there we go. Then I'm going to put down a Death and Decay, and now I want to track, look, oh, my Bone Shield is gone. I can't have that. I need to keep Bone Shield up. I have some Bone Shields left, now I can spend some runes on Death Strike, but it's almost running out. So I'm going to use another Merriment to keep my Bone Shield up. Now I can spend my runic power and my runes on Death Strike. Yeah, use Hard Strikes, my my Death and Decay procs, but I was out of Bone Shields. I want to refresh. I want to make sure that my Bone Shield is always up. Yeah, so I want to check how many Bone Shields. If it's on 1, I want to spend my runes on Bone Shield. Yeah, it's 2. It's on 1. Yeah, refresh. Then I want to think about, like, do I have runic power? I want to spend my runic power on Death Strikes. Oh, I have only 4 runes left. I need 2 to refresh Bone Shield. Now I can spend the other runes on Hard Strike to get my Death Strike going. I have 3 Bone Shields left, so I can use some runes on Hard Strike and Death Strike. And see where I'm going with this. Yeah? This is how you work. You always have choices to make, and you also want to keep up your Death and Decay, certainly in AoE moments, yeah, when you're tanking dungeons. So you always have to think. You need to set up a tell me when all weak hours to track your Bone Shield, to track your runes, and to make choices. Is my Bone Shield dropping off? Is my Bone Shield on 1? Yes, I want to refresh. I want to use my runes on Marrowrant. Do I have 3 or 4 Bone Shields off? Yes, okay, I want to use my runes on Hard Strike. I want to use Hard Strike 3 times so I can get off a Death Strike to heal myself. I have Bone Shields, I have enough HP. Can I spend a rune on Death and Decay? Here we go. This is what makes it fun. You need to juggle, you need to balance it up. You need to look at how many runic power do I have. Do I need to generate runic power with Hard Strike to get enough runic power for Death Strike? Do I already have enough runic power? Yes or no? Do I need to refresh Marrowrant? Can I spend a rune on Death and Decay? Or do I need to spend my runes on Hard Strike to get off that Death Strike? This is how it all comes together. This is how the Blood Death Knight works. And that is fun. It's not difficult. It's not overcomplicated. But it's fun. It's making choices. It's tracking the right things. Basically, 3 things you want to track. Your Bone Shield, yeah, your runic power, and your runes. And if you balance it all out correctly, you're gonna do great. You're gonna be really, really awesome. I've tanked with the many dungeons with the Death Knight. It's basically the only way how I leveled up to 1-on-1 is just doing dungeon after dungeon. I had a blast doing that, keeping an eye on my Bone Shield, using my Death Strike. Very, very cool. Very, very nice. So, let's look a little bit deeper into the class, because you guys saw my Death and Decay proccing. That's because we have a new New passive, this Crimson Scourge. Your auto attacks on targets infect with your Blood Plague have a chance to make your next Death and Decay cost no runes and resets its cooldown. So you will have those moments, and you guys already saw that when I was demonstrating the rotation, that it procs, it's for free, it's not costing me a rune. Those moments are really, really awesome, because that means that you have that free Death and Decay, you don't need to spend a rune on it, so you can focus to keep on Merriment up and keeping your Death Strike going. In my opinion, a very, very cool spec to play with some choices to make. So let's dive into the talents. Level 56, we have a passive, Bloodworms. This is something I really like. Your auto attack critical strikes have a chance to summon a Bloodworm. Bloodworm deal minor damage to your target for 15 seconds and then burst, healing you for 5% of your missing health. Yeah, if you drop below 50% health, your Bloodworms will immediately burst and heal you. So Bloodworms are back in a passive way. Very, very cool. Then we have Heartbreaker. Heartstrike generates 3 additional runic power per target hit. So basically what happens is that it generates normally 15 runic power. If I'm choosing Heartbreaker, it will give me 18 runic power. This can come very handy when you're, because it's per target hit, and you can hit up to 5 targets, because Heartstrike is instantly striking the target and 1 additional target. But if you're in Death and Decay, you will get 3 extra targets. So when you want to have a lot of runic power in tanking, like you can tank up to hit 5 mobs with Heartstrike, yeah, getting a shitload of runic power, which you can immediately spend on your Death Strike. So for dungeons, this can be really strong. I have to say, I'm never running into runic power problems. Sometimes, but that's mostly because I don't have a tell me when set up, and sometimes you fuck up your rotation because I didn't check my rune generation proper. I have to say, I'm not really running into the need to run with Heartbreaker, so I'm running with Bloodworm because of the passive healing. We also have Blood Drinker. It costs a rune, drains 109k health from the target over 3 seconds. That sounds really powerful. You can move, parry, dodge, and use defensive abilities while channeling this ability. Sounds really good. It is a lot of healing, I have to give credit to that. You can move, you can parry and dodge, you can use defensive cooldowns, and with defensive cooldowns I mean things like Vampire Blood and Anti-Magic Shell and Dancing Room Weapon. But you can't use your rotation, you can't use Heartstrike, Death Strike, Blood Boil, you guys get the point, you can't use your artifact ability. So, even though you can move, I'm going to show you guys what it looks anyway. This is what it looks like, but the moment I'm using an ability, it's interrupted, yeah? I don't want to interrupt my rotation, because I want to keep my regenerating runic power for Death Strikes. So I'm going with Bloodworms. That is right now is my favorite talent. Let me press escape here to get out of combat. So this is Bloodworms for me. It's on cooldown. Level 57, we have a new talent called Rapid Decomposition. Your Death and Decay deals damage 50% more often, so okay, we're upgrading our Death and Decay. And while you're in Death and Decay, you generate 15% more runic power. Now that's a good thing. More runic power equals more Death Strikes. Yeah, you see where I'm going with this. That's why I'm picking Rapid Decomposition, since Death and Decay can proc, yeah, as a passive of your critical auto attacks. This is pretty good. This is really, really good, because you guys already seen it proc. It will it procs really regular. In every dungeon it procs quite often, I have to say. And I'm generating rune power faster and getting more Death Strikes out. That's very, very cool. Then we have Soul Gores. Consume your Blood Plagues within 30 yards, dealing 9.5k shadow damage to each infected enemy and empowering you for 24 seconds with up to 50% rune regeneration per plague. So when we consume our Blood Plague, Blood Plague is a shadowy disease, drains 32k health from the target over 24 seconds. Yeah, so that's basically your dot. That's something we get from Blood Boil. And this sounds really strong, like, oh, if we consume our dot, yeah, our Blood Plague with Soul Gorge, we can increase rune regeneration, not runic power, rune regeneration, so your runes regen faster. That sounds really awesome, but here's the kicker. Blood Boil no longer applies Blood Plague. So if we pick that, how are we going to generate our Blood Plague? With Death Cares. Now, Death Cares reach out with necrotic tendrils, dealing 8.5k shadow damage and applying Blood Plague to your target. But it costs a rune. Do you see where I'm going with this? The problem with Soul Gorges, and this is why I really, really do not like it, is that, to get improved rune regeneration, I have to spend runes. Which makes no sense. It's like, when I'm tanking trash or when I'm tanking dungeons, yeah, and I'm using Soul Gorge, I have to manually dot up every target. So let's say I'm tanking a pack of 5S. I have to use 5 runes to get Soul Gorge. I have to use Death Cares 5 times, so spend 5 runes for Soul Gorge to make my runes regenerate faster. But if I spend my runes on Death Cares, I can't spend those runes on Merriment, or I can't spend them on Heartstrike, yeah, to get Death Strikes going. I don't like this. I would like to see Soul Gorge change to that Blood Boil still gives Blood Plague. If Blood Boil still would give Blood Plague and we're tanking 5 mobs and I put 1 Blood Boil out and then I'm consuming those plagues with Soul Gorge and I'm get faster rune regeneration, that would be very, very cool. So like, I'm AoE tanking, I want to consume, this would be really, really handy for AoE fights. I'm gonna spread Blood Plague with Blood Boil, and then I'm gonna consume all of them with Soul Gorge, getting my runes back faster, gonna have more Merryments, gonna have more Death Strikes up. You see where I'm going with this? This is not the case. I have to spend runes on targets to get faster rune regeneration, which is totally not worth it in comparison with rapid decomposition. Then we have Spectral Deflection. Attacks that deal more than 25% of your maximum health will consume a second bone shield charge to further reduce the damage. I can see this being used in raids, yeah? I like rapid decomposition right now because I'm getting more runic power, gives me more death strikes, yeah? More death strikes, more self-healing. Spectral Deflection could be a thing in mythic dungeons or in mythic raids or something when you're having a boss that it's very, very hard. You might need to go switch over to that, but we'll see. I like rapid decomposition for now. Level 58, we have Ossuary. While you have at least 5 bone shield charges, the cost of Death Strike is reduced by 5 runic power. Additionally, your maximum runic power is increased by 10. You never kept your runic power. You really, really shouldn't, so there's no reason to have more runic power. Even though you could stack up runic power and have some Death Strikes going on. That could be a thing, but generally you want to keep it smooth, so you're making the choice between Merriment, Death Striking, and is not. I did not run into a moment like, I need to stack up runic power so I can smash Death Strikes in a row. Blood Tap, however, is just really nice. Blood Tap is the way it is. It's on a 1 minute recharge timer now. Recharge time generates 1 rune, that's what it does. Recharge time reduced by 1 second whenever a bone shield charge is consumed. That comes in with Merriment once again, yeah. The nice thing of this is we have two charges on Blood Tap, so basically we could get 1 rune extra every 30 seconds. Cool. But because of the runic power, because of the bone shield that are consuming when the targets hit you, you basically can have like 1 rune extra every like 20 or 15 seconds, which is very, very nice because it's gonna drop down to like about 40 minutes recharge timer. So we have 2 charges, so we're gonna spend like every 20 seconds we're gonna have an extra rune available. Anti-magic barrier could be handy in some occasions, yeah. Anti-magic shell also increases your maximum health by 25% for 10 seconds. If we have a magic attack from a boss that hits very hard and we need some extra HP at those moments as well, anti-magic barrier could be there to help you out if needed. Level 60. I need to wait and see how this is going to work out, but I'm going to give you my opinion on it. Mark of Blood. Now, this sounds really awesome. Places a Mark of Blood on an enemy for 25 seconds for 30 runic power. The enemy's damaging auto attacks will also heal their victim for 2% of the maximum health. Basically, you get a heal, and you can keep this up the entire time on the target. I'm going with red first right now. Spending runic power will decrease the remaining cooldown on Vampiric Blood by 2 seconds per 10 runic power. So, yeah. Basically, Vampiric Blood increases my maximum health by 30%, yeah? And increases all healing received by 30% for 10 seconds as well as 1.5 minute cooldown. I've been able to bring it back to about 1 minute, yeah? So that's very nice. Also, Red Thirst is going to work very well with some artifact trades, which we'll talk about after we're done with the talents. Then we have Tombstone. This is on a 1 minute cooldown. Consume all your Bone Shield charges. For each charge consumed, you gain 3 runic power and absorb damage equal to 3% of your maximum health for 8 seconds. You could use this in certain circumstances. It's like we can have up to a maximum of 10 Bone Shield charges. And then you have 30 runic power to spend immediately on Death Strike. But you also have 30% maximum 30% maximum increases our maximum HP by 30% for 8 seconds. This could be very powerful. It's on a 1 minute cooldown. I'm going with Red first so far, so I can keep Vampiric Blood rolling as much as possible. But all three could be very nice. I'm waiting for the mathematicians to decide which ones are the most strong. Level 75, Tightening Grasp reduces the cooldown on Gorfin's Grasp by 60 seconds, and your Death and Decay also reduces the movement speed of enemies within this radius by 70%. Yeah, Gorfin's Grasp normally 3 minute cooldown. With this talent, 2 minute cooldown. I prefer 2 minute cooldown. Tremble Before Me. Kinda nice. Enemies damaged by your Death and Decay have a chance to cower in place for 3 seconds, but cannot suffer from this effect more than once per 10 seconds. Damage may cancel the effect. Now, I've been testing this out in dungeons, and here's the strange thing. It procs kinda often. I've been like on once every 3 trash packs. It's been happening. Like for me, it's like a 25 to 30%. It procs pretty often. Here's the thing. Sometimes they're cowering fear from entire 3 seconds. So for those 3 seconds, you don't take any damage at all because all those mobs are just doing nothing except cowering in fear. Sometimes they wake after a half second or a second, they're back at it again. So it's a little bit iffy. It's not damage, like it says, damage may cancel the effect. Doesn't always does it. So sometimes it's very nice. It's funny to see. It's funny to throw down your Death and Decay and immediately see all those ads cowering in fear. Also, if you have casters in a trash pack, for example in a dungeon, a bunch of casters, and it procs, casters will get interrupted as well. It's funny to see. It might help out maybe in some mythic timed run dungeons. Yeah, that some trash packs become very hard. You have some kind of a mouse interrupt here going on. But it's not 100% effective. Yeah, it's not always covering in for the entire 3 seconds. Sometimes it procs, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it only procs for a second or half a second, whatever. Sometimes damage cancels it. Sometimes it's a little bit in the middle. It's still funny to use though, especially in dungeons, to see them cowering in fear and not attacking you for 3 seconds. It's damage reduction in that way. We have March of the Damned. Raid Walk lasts 50% longer and breaks stun, snare, and root effects when cast. Raid Walk, let me show you guys. Here it is. Raid Walk is our Death Advance. Only different. Death Advance is gone, yeah? Sidestep into the Shadowlands on a 1 minute cooldown, breaking root effects and increasing your movement speed by 70% for 3 seconds. During this time, all movement impairing effects are suppressed, but any action will cancel the effect. So here's the thing. Without the talent, all the oh, that was my mouse, sorry. Without the talent, movement impairing effects are suppressed, but with this talent, when March of the Damned, you have the 70% run speed increase for 6 seconds, and it breaks all stun, snare, and root effects when cast. This is what it looks like. It's ability that they used in Heroes of the Storm for the Bone King, the Skeleton King. There we go. This is what it looks. It's clearly the ability from the Skeleton King in here. Heroes of the Storm. The thing is that I don't really like it because in Raid Walk we cannot use, once again, Death Advance, we had 10% passive run speed and a 30% run speed increase for 10 seconds, but we could use our abilities, yeah? We could use Death Advance and keep going with Blood Boil, pull targets, whatever. That's something we can't with Raid Walk, and that's something I don't like about Raid Walk. I would like to continue doing my stuff, using Blood Boil, yeah, to actually keep pulling targets and to keep going, but no, I can't, otherwise I will interrupt Raid Walk. So that's kind of a sad thing, but I see this as a PvP talent. Will of the Necropolis, level 90. Damage taken below 35% health is reduced by 20%. So that's a straight up passive, yeah. Nothing wrong with it, but I prefer to go with Rune Tap. Rune tap consumes 1 rune, consumes a rune to reduce all damage taken by 25% for 3 seconds on a 25-second recharge timer. Yeah, it has 2 charges. 25. I mean, it's 40% right now in Walls Adrena, but it's 25% in Legion. Still very good. Yeah, it's still a big cool 25% damage reduction for a rune. I'll take that. Then we have Fall Bulwark. Each charge of Bone Shield increases your maximum health by 2%. That's nice. You can aim to have always 3 up, so always have 6% more HP. So yeah, I leave it up to kind of the mathematician what they will say. I like to take 25% less damage for a rune. I like to have that when I need it, when I want it. That's what I prefer. Level 100, we have Bone Storm. A rule of bones and gore batters nearby enemies every 1 second, dealing 10k shadow damage every 1 second and healing you for 1% of your maximum health every time it deals damage. Lasts 1 second per 10 runic power spent. It's on a 1 minute cooldown. Basically, what you can do here, yeah, is stack up 100 runic power, and then it will heal you for 100% of your HP. Over 10 seconds though. Yeah? Currently, I'm not choosing to use this because I want to use my runic power on Death Strike. Yeah, that costs 45 runic power. This means if I want to get the full utility out of this, I have to let 2 rune strikes go, or 2 Death Strikes go, to get Bone Storm up and running. We can take a look at how it looks though. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Where is it? Bone Storm. Let me just throw it in here, and let me throw Blood Worms in there. Here we go. So basically what I want to do right now is just generate runic power. I want to keep up my and I can't Death Strike. There it is, and now I can go nuts. There it is, healing myself. Yeah, this is how it looks like. It looks very cool. I like the way how it looks. So yeah, I'm choosing not to use it, but I have to wait and see if this becomes really a thing. It's on a 1 minute cooldown though. So you could use this to soak something. If there is a lot of damage incoming, you could prepare for it. You could say like, oh, this boss has a certain mechanic like every so often, and I want to keep myself up. I can soak a lot of damage when I'm using Bone Storm. So I'm gonna pick Bone Storm, I'm gonna stack up to 100 runic power, and then when that ability hits, I'm gonna use Bone Storm to keep myself up and going. So it could come in handy in that kind of situation. Then we have Blood Mirror. Oh, I'm in combat. This is something I use right now. Afflict an enemy with Blood Mirror for 10 seconds. While active, 20% of any damage dealt to you is redirected to the target. So it's a 20% damage reduction, and the target takes 20% more damage. Yeah, Blood Mirror. That's how I run with it. Bone Storm. It is stronger, especially 100% heal on 1 minute, but you have to sacrifice some rune power. You have to build up rune power, and I kind of like to spend my rune power on Death Strike to be a easier target, to not have gaps in the damage I'm taking. Yeah, if I'm Death Striking regular, I'm having a regular pace for the healers to heal me. That's why I'm not going with Bone Storm, and that's why I'm choosing Blood Mirror. However, I need to do more testing. I want to see what the professionals are saying, the mathematicians are saying about this. Blood Mirror is not that bad, but Bone Shield is so much stronger. But there you go. Not Death Striking. But yeah, not Death Striking until you get 100% runic power and then use it. It's not like an oh shit moment. It's not like an oh shit cooldown, you know, Bone Storm. You have to plan this. Well, Blood Mirror can't be just that oh shit button cooldown. That's why I'm sticking with Blood Mirror. Then we have Purgatory. It's still there, an unholy pact that prevents fatal damage instead of absorbing incoming healing equal to the damage prevented, lasting 3 seconds. But here's the kicker: if any healing absorption remains when this effect expires, you will die. This effect may only occur once every 3 minutes. This can still screw you over. You can still die, even though you can die to Purgatory. That's it, and that's why I'm not using it right now. And that's why I'm sticking with a Blood Mirror right now. So, we're talking about Vampiric Blood. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about, and then we're going to call this guide gonna call it a day on this guide. Here's the thing with Vampiric Blood, and that's the reason I'm going with Red Thirst, yeah? Red Thirst is the passive. Spending runic power will decrease the remaining cooldown on Vampiric Blood by 2 seconds per 10 runic power. Here's the thing. After Vampiric Blood expires, you absorb damage equal to 5 times the damage your blood plague dealt during Vampiric Blood. So the more I have Vampiric Blood going, the more healing I will receive. Yeah? So I'm getting an extra, I'm absorbing damage after I used Vampiric Blood. 5 times the amount of my blood plague. Yeah? That's why I'm going with Red Thirst, because this is going to make my Vampiric Blood pretty powerful. Also, we have a cooldown, we have a passive upgrade right here. Vampiric Blood increases your maximum health by an additional 5% and increases all healing received by an additional 5%. Stacks up 3 times, yeah. 15% additional health, 50% additional healing. Makes Vampiric Blood a really strong cooldown, which can help you out a lot. And then after it expires, you're gonna get 5 times the amount of damage that absorb damage that your blood plague dealt. So you're gonna have 5 times the amount of damage that blood plague dealt as an absorption after Vampiric Blood. Makes it all very, very strong. Yeah, this is why I'm running with Red Thirst. What else do we got? We have Unending Thirst. While Blood Shield is active, you gain 25% leech, and damage dealt by Death Strike is increased by 25%. That's your upgrading your Death Strike, right? Nothing special there. And then we have another elite talent. Each time Skeletal Shattering, each time Bone Shield absorbs damage, it has a chance equal to your critical strike chance to absorb an additional 8% of the damage. Very boring, yeah? We basically have very boring elite talents. Nothing special, all passive upgrades, yeah? Even though it makes a difference, yeah? Upgrading your Death Strike, upgrading your Vampiric Blood. Your Bone Shield has a extra chance to absorb 8% extra damage. It is kind of boring. So what else do we have? I can keep going all over them. I won't. Just we have things like the minor talents are like Rattling Bones. Merriment has a 30% chance to generate an additional charge of Bone Shield. Yeah, so we get, instead of 3, we have a chance to get 4. All the Vampiric Blood upgrade increases damage done by Merriment, increases your armor, increases the duration of Dancing Rune Weapon, upgrading the abilities you currently have. Those are the minor talents of your artifact weapon. But overall, in my opinion, I think the Blood Death Knight is really, really fun to play. I really love it. I know in the video I said the Demon Hunter is going to be my main. I actually changed that because this is so much fun. I didn't play the Blood Death Knight because I was convinced I did not want to play it because I already had a Blood Death as a main in Mists of Pandaria. But right now, I absolutely adore it. Heartstrike is back. The animations are cool. The sound effects are cool. Yeah. And you have to juggle your runes and your runic power. You have to create your own Bone Shield. I really, really enjoy that. Yeah, it's all about making choices, you know. What am I going to spend my runes on? Am I going to use my runes to generate runic power for Death Strikes? Or going to use my runes to get my Bone Shield back up? Or keep my Bone Shield going? Or can I use it on a Death and Negate to get more runic power? All those fun decisions to make to keep you entertained, to keep you busy when you are tanking. I love it. I'm so going to enjoy this. So I'm very, very happy with the Blood Death Knight changes. And our artifact weapon looks freaking badass. I mean, it looks so good. So yeah, I'm very, very happy. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the Blood Death Knight. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you guys on the next video. Have a awesome time, guys, and have a great experience in Legion. Bye bye.